87QKU standing by for the Western Washington Amateur Television Net.
I'm here, Ron, K7HYB.
Okay, I saw your picture earlier, Gary, and I think I saw Jim N7QO earlier, too.
And I think I heard Lee check in on the internet, N7QO.
Yes, you sure did. I've got him here on Skype, so it looks like there's only going to be 4 of us tonight. James, W7N, sent me a text saying that he couldn't make it. And Bob sounded like he might have a funeral or something this afternoon, and he might not make it, so far I haven't heard from any of them. So anyway, I wrote, I saw you on first, Jim, so I wrote you down, then I wrote down Gary, then I have Lee, I guess, and I have myself. So if you want to, Gary, why don't you, or Jim, N7QO, why don't you start us off?
Okay, thanks, Ron. I'll do that. N7QO. Pardon me, every now and then I may need to take a break to cough a little bit. I can't believe how this thing is holding on. But friends of mine who have the same crud seem to have the same problem. So, I don't know. Well, let's see. Ron, I hope you're feeling better. Hope Joanne is done with the pneumonia and is doing better. Lee, I think you were okay up there in PA. And Gary, I don't remember for sure what was going on with you. I remember we had some intermittent audio problems with you on the last net. Gary, don't know if you're able to see us or not, but you are getting a signal into the television repeater. Reset. I am actually seeing a worse picture from myself than I have in a long, long time. So someone will have to let me know what they see. And Lee, I don't know how the streaming is working. We saw you splendidly the last time. Look forward to seeing your picture this time. My guess is I'm not going to be able to see it as well. C'est la vie. Let's see, I'll go back to Ron for now. I don't know if you wanted to hand it to Gary but go ahead, Ron, KD7QKU and 7QO.
Okay, Jim, N7QO. Yeah, I think we should hand it to Gary, and then Lee and I can be on together. So go ahead, Gary, W7HYB.
K7. Well, I had a brain part there, Ron. Sorry about that. This is K7HYB. Good evening, Jim. Good evening, Lee. Good evening, Ron. Yeah, I'm just picking here. Let's see. I thought I did. What's going on here? Oh, well, okay. I did have a pretty good picture on the streaming there. Just the latency is, I'm not catching up with that. So, good evening all. I'm just chugging along here, getting some stuff done in my shop. And there's Jim's picture. You're not looking bad tonight, Jim. I've seen you worse. I know what you look like, so I recognize you. I don't know whether I'm seeing the transmitter. There's the mug shot. Got the. I'm not seeing hardly anything on the live return tonight. Very weak signal. I'm going to have to. I keep saying that. I haven't done anything up to this point. So one of these days I'll get around to doing something with that receive antenna. But I can't get up on the roof and mess around with it, so that's kind of the issue here. Whoops, now we drop it here. Okay, so anyway, yeah, I'm just sitting here in the shop. Had a quiet day at home here. Went out to lunch with the wife after she went bowling at Bolero up in Linwood, and had a salad and meatballs, spaghetti and meatballs for lunch. So that was a highlight of my day, other than what's going on here. Oh, there I am. Okay. Now my call sign finally came up there for a bunch of latency. Anyway, shift it back to you and let you lead. Ryan, let you and Lee have a crack at it. KD7QKU, K7HYB.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Gary. This is KD7QKU. Well, good evening, Jim. Good evening, Gary. And good evening to Lee. And Jim was asking about my colds. Well, I thought I was getting better, Jim. This thing is just hanging on and hanging on. I guess it was Thursday. Thursday, I was feeling pretty good, I thought. And, we'd had some windstorms and stuff, so I decided to go out and take the blower and blow the patio off in the driveway and sidewalk and stuff, and I did that. And a bunch of needles from the cedar tree from my neighbors just, blanketed my backyard, so I got a rake and I raked it away from the curbs and fences and buildings and stuff, and then I got out the lawnmower and I'm going to run the lawnmower over and suck it up. Well, I started doing that. Darn if it didn't start raining. And so I got soaking wet, and then I got cold. I did finish the backyard. I was determined to get the backyard done. Didn't do anything in front. And I needed to vacuum out the gutters, too, and I didn't get around to that. So anyway, I got cold, wet, and I put everything away. I come in, taking off my wet shirts, put on something dry and warm, and sit down in the recliner. But when I got up the next morning, gee, my throat was almost sore again, and I just felt cruddy. I just felt cruddy yesterday, so I just pretty much stayed in the recliner all day, taking I don't know, what did I take? I guess I taken a Tylenol, is about all I taken. But anyway, I'm a little better today. I had a cough, too, on Friday. I started coughing. I coughed all day Friday. But I'm not coughing as much today. So I think I'm going to live again. Unlike Jim, it seems like it's been a month now, but it hasn't. I guess it's been about 2 weeks. All right, let's go over to Lee and see what... Oops, I need to do one more thing, Lee.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ron. This is N7KC Lee Port Angeles. And hi to you, Jim, N7QO, and Gary. Good evening to you as well. Let's see. Well, it was a beautiful day here. It's like an early spring day, and apparently we're going to have more like it. And this is really, really scary, frankly. But we need a big snowpack here to make sure we've got water for the summer, and at least the lower mountains around 6,000 feet are just don't see any snow at all. The headwaters of the Elwha are up around Mount Olympus, and so I think we got a glimpse of that today. We took a little drive down to the casino and had lunch. They have kind of a little bar in the back of the thing, and they have a nice hamburger dip, and they have great fish and chips and whatnot. And coming back, we may have gotten a look at Mount Olympus. I'm going to get Google Earth going here and see from that location if it would be possible to see it. I'm okay. I've not been sick for a while, and I'm trying to stay nice and warm and all that. You know, be careful and all. Let's see what else is going on. Another minute to talk. The North American CW contest is on presently. Started this morning at 10 o'clock and goes till 10 o'clock tonight. It's just a 12-hour thing. And before the net started, I was upstairs on high-frequency radio. I wasn't transmitting, but just listening. Down on the level of 80 meters, and I heard the guy up here where I normally go to I would say normally go, but where I went the last time to contest, in 7BB's just called, and I heard him on there a couple of places. But everybody seems to be having a pretty good time, and I'm able to hear a goodly number of stations. If I put my noise down, it would be dandy. Let's see what else is going on. I don't know. I'll send it back to next month, I guess, Tim, and maybe I can think of I got to tell you about the microscope camera and that sort of thing. All right. This is 7KC. I'm Lee. I'm in Port Texas, and I am in courtesy of Echo Lake. Back to you, Jim.
I keep waiting for that courtesy tone. Oh well. Anyway, the 08 machine seems to be working pretty well otherwise. Thank you, Lee. Glad that you and Paul are doing okay up there. I missed how long that well, you know what? I'm not going to have time to mess with that anyway. I've got something else on the agenda for tomorrow. Or I should say my wife has something on my agenda for me tomorrow. Let's see. Ron, I can sympathize with what's going on with you. It sounds to me like we're kind of about the same place, more or less. I had some work to do around the house, too. In fact, specifically regarding rain gutters. I do have some debris around here. I'm kind of putting it off for another day or so. I've been busy all day today, and my schedule for tomorrow is pretty full as well. I do have some needles that are blocking one of my downspouts. It's probably about maybe a 7 or 8 foot long section that tends to fill up with needles where it goes into a French drain. I kind of forgot about that because of my work schedule over the years, but I need to do something about that, do some rerouting or make a new drain system. I need to do something anyway. Reset. Gary, well, thank you for mentioning about the pictures. You can recognize me. I definitely see you better than I see myself, and I hear you fine on the audio. You're doing much better tonight than you were on the last net. Ron, of course, I have good color on you, and Lee as well through there. Nuts. Now I don't remember if I mentioned it or not. Ron, how's your wife doing there with the pneumonia? Is she over that, or what's going on with her? So let's see. I guess after me comes Gary, and then Gary will turn it over to Ron. So K7HYB, go ahead. This is N7QO.
N7QO. With KD7QKU and others, K7HYB.
and good evening together. Weather was beautiful here today. I had put my sunglasses on when I went over to have lunch with my wife, and there's a little teeny pizzeria over at Briar, which is about a half an hour from my house here. It's straight due west, and a bunch of her bowling buddies went over there today to go to lunch after they bowled at Bolero and Linwood. My wife didn't win any money, unfortunately, although she tried, but didn't pan out. And let me get the mug shot here in again without any glasses, and I'm making it into the repeater with a pretty decent signal. No color as usual. That's not unusual. That's not too bad. But the black and white path on 434 must not be too bad tonight, because I'm actually coming in pretty good, and sometimes my mugshot won't key the transmitter unless Ron's got it on hard. Maybe he did that. So, and I guess Dave is unavailable, whatever he's doing. Maybe he got the call to Arizona. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to catch up with work. I've been lots of days with my shop work here lately, and when I get behind, then I'm working my rear end off trying to catch up. Let me drop it here. And so, that's about all I've got for this time around. I talked to my son the other day. He's in the Coast Guard and not getting paid, and that upsets me a great deal. So, I still get all my retirement, fortunately. That hasn't been cut off, but I'm still upset. Anyway, I wish somebody would get off the dime and get something done. Back to you, Ron. And yeah, Lee, I want to see to talk about your microscope camera. I got one here too that I use for my mug shots. KD7QKU, K7HYB.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Gary. K7HYB, this is KD7QKU. Well, Jim, you asked about my wife. She's doing better than I am, I think. She's been working around the house today, cleaning the house, and then she went for a walk. I don't know what she's doing now, but she had some antibiotics. I think it helped her. I was beginning to think yesterday I needed to go to the doctor. I'd taken my temperature. I didn't have any temperature. But it just seemed like, it'd been dragging on forever. And Gary, my wife bowls. She bowls on Tuesdays. She used to bowl Tuesday morning. Now they bowl Tuesday at noon. She didn't go last week, but I would think she would be going this week. I think she feels good enough to bowl this week. And I'm pretty sure she's not contagious, so she wouldn't give it to all the other ladies. They bowl on Skyway. She's been bowling up there, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, long time. The group, some of the ladies have passed away. The group has gotten smaller and smaller. But there's still enough of them that they get together and bowl, and they have a good time. So, it was a beautiful day here. I think the only thing I did was walk down to the mailbox and back. I watched a couple of football games. I watched one that, I guess it came on. It was the Kansas City, and it was the Colts. And the Kansas City beat the Colts, and then just now a game finished up, and it was the Rams and the Cowboys, and the Rams won. So I was kind of watching that too. So I missed the championship game with Clemson and Oklahoma. I didn't even know it was going to be on that night. It was on Monday night, and I just there wasn't anything decent to watch on TV. I would have gladly watched the game. It wasn't until a day or two later that I discovered that it had already passed. So I missed out on that completely. Well, I I don't have anything exciting to talk about. I can tell you the guy across the street bought a different pickup, or another pickup. I got up this morning, there was a black Chevy over there, Z28 or whatever they are. Extended cab, four-wheel drive, probably late 90s or early 70s, or early 2000, I mean, and so he's been talking about getting a bigger pickup. He has an enclosed trailer someplace that he bought with his nephew, and he wanted a big enough truck to tow it. He had a little Chevy S10, but it wouldn't tow it, so there was a new pickup, or different pickup sitting over there, and I talked to him this morning, and he said, yep, it was his. So anyway, so now he has 5 cars parked across the street. So it's like a used car lot over there. All right, let's go see what Lee has to say.
Okay, all right, I'm on. Now everything is reset, I think, and whatnot. This is WW7ATS in Port Angeles. Well, let's see, the first thing, Jim, the concept at just 12 hours, it started at 10 o'clock this morning. So, it'll be over at 10 o'clock tonight. So, what are there? There'll be an hour or two left after the net. I was going to watch that Clemson, Alabama, too. And it got away from me. I forgot it. And then I heard that the game was a big runaway game, so I didn't feel too bad about it. Because when I'm watching, if I'm not watching the Hawks, I like to see a close game. But when the Hawks are playing, I like to see them run off with it right away. I like to see them win. But the Kansas City, that Mahomes guy he's a quarterback. He's, oh my. He plays a mean game. Oh, but now the microscope camera. Gary, I've got one made by AMScope, AMSCOPE. It's a nice website. You might want to run over and look at it. AMScope. It's an MU1000, and mine is a USB 2 version, unfortunately. I bought mine before USB 3 cameras came out from them, but I really prefer a faster camera in terms of the interface. The problem is it works great. I mean, the pictures are outrageously nice. And the way it works is you get the scope set up the way you normally would a microscope, color illumination or something like that, and you have a slider and you get it all set up. And if it's a binocular scope, you just take one of the oculars out and you just slide the camera down in one of the oculars and then turn the software on the computer, and that's it. And you tell it what camera you want to look at, and it acquires a video image. And here's where the problem is. USB 2 is not good in the service, not good enough to service a 10 megapixel camera so that you look like you're focusing in real time. There's a half a second delay, something like that, even on the lowest resolution for running video. And if you had an 11 megabits per second like USB 3, then it would be pretty much like real-time focusing with a microscope. Uh-oh, just a minute, let me reset. Well, I didn't hear a beep. I don't know whether to reset or not, but I'll take a chance. In 7KC, in Port Angeles. Anyway, I bought the microscope, and then I'm going to shift it to my telescope and see what I can do there. Anyway, the way it works is the camera does a video, and then you do snap images off of the video feed. And oh my goodness, they're nice. So the video is at low resolution just for focusing and composing. And then when you snap one, it's really very high resolution. So for doing whoops, I forgot to start my timer. For doing star work, what you do is that you just basically get it focused on a star field or a nebula or whatever you were choosing to photograph, and then you just start snapping still pictures. And after you've got, with as long an exposure time that you can get and all that sort of thing, and then you would stack them in something like Deep Sky Stacker. And this software actually has stacking capabilities built right in. So I'm kind of excited, but there's a learning curve here. I've got to learn to run the camera on a microscope really, really well, the software, before I ever move outside where it's going to be much harder because it's going to be dark and all that sort of thing. So anyway, anyway, that's pretty much it. And the camera, I showed you last week, Gary, but I think I did, but then it's up on the microscope right now upstairs, so I don't have it in front of me, or I would show it to you again. Anyway, I think I better quit while I'm ahead. This is 7KC the Desert, and I'm here courtesy of Echo Lake, and it's working really great on it tonight. So back to you, Jim. Good.
N7QO. Well, thank you, Lee. Well, first, before I say anything else, to those who are listening, this is a sort of a Western Washington Amateur Television Society net. Not really much of a net. We only have 4 people here right now, so we're just kind of going in a roundabout. Is there anyone else out there right now who might like to join in our net? Come at this time, please. Well, nothing heard. Okay. Let's see. My wife enjoys bowling as well. She used to be involved in a league. Unfortunately, since she broke her collarbone, and it has never exactly been repaired, she has not yet tried to even pick up a bowling ball. She's a little bit afraid to do that since it's a fairly recent break. Yeah, interesting. The medical professionals decided not to repair it. There are certain parameters which, if exceeded, warrants repair. They say also if you are engaging in a sport or profession which requires more perfect movement, then they'll repair it, but otherwise it's not recommended unless it exceeds certain parameters. So my wife fell into that category, and bowling has been out for her for a little while. Reset. Ron, glad that Joanne feels better, but I don't know. It might be that she feels better because of the drugs. I know a lot of times I'll go to the doctor and they'll give me something, or sometimes I can just take something over the counter, and it makes me feel a whole lot better. But I think it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm better. It just means that I'm feeling better. So keep an eye on her, and I hope you feel a little better as well. I'm not sure if there's anything the doctors can do to us. Maybe, maybe not. I did not go, but I'm definitely better than I was even a week ago, so I'm encouraged by that. Let's see, what else were we talking about? Football. Well, I watched that game. I always root for Clemson because that was Chandler's alma mater. This last game, I honestly expected Alabama to win, but I was pleasantly surprised that the Tigers came through, and it was a pretty significant win. So whenever I see the Tigers play, I always think of Chandler. Didn't get to watch any football today, and I won't be able to tomorrow either. But, oh well, such is life. Let's see, I guess I will turn it over to Gary now. K7HYB, N7QO. N7QO in the group, K7HYB. Good evening. And Lee, that sounds very interesting. I have a couple of old 2-inch scopes here that like I said at the last net that I had, I picked up in yard sales, and I played around with them a little bit. And I would like to have a video capture device for my telescope. I'm leaning toward a true video output rather than a USB output. And there's both available. The only problem is from the video side, I can find all kinds of black and white devices that'll fit on my scope, but I can't find anything that is color. And so anyway, that's my problem with dealing with it right now. And I guess I could put my deal up here. So and I have no real-time way of taking a look at it. Football, yeah. If I'm watching the Seahawks, that's okay. And occasionally, University of Washington, they didn't look too good at the Football Bowl this year, unfortunately. But I guess that happens. Other than that, not much of a TV fan. Just don't. Most of it's garbage. I hate watching the news because it just pisses me off. And I don't watch anything. Well, I won't go there. Anyway. But like I said, I'm really upset because my son, he's the first class in the Coast Guard, and he's not getting paid right now, and that really irritates me. So anyhow, and so I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing all kinds of stuff here. And one of these days, maybe I'll get things going with my cameras and stuff. Let me drop it here. Anyway, I'm glad that we got it at 08 where machine sounds like it's chunking along pretty well and picking me up better than it did last week. So I'm still using the same 5-watt handheld here. I got an Olenko dual bander that I've got. It has its own private power supply, and I use it for monitoring, and that's what I use for the nets too. It's sitting right here next to my ICOM 706 Mark II G. I got the notice today, by the way, from the Puyallup Ham Fair on the 9th of March. So now I'm going to have to decide whether I'm going to rid myself of some of the stuff that I've got here. I really need to do that, but I probably won't. I'll just probably go down there and buy more stuff. I do that. Back to you, Ron. Let you have at it there. K7QKU, K7HYB.
K7HYB in the group, KD7QKU. Well, yeah, no, I feel bad about all those people that are not being paid and they're being asked to work. I don't feel like it's right either. I think the congressmen ought to be the ones that are losing their pay until they get this thing settled. But that's beside the point, I guess. Well, let's see. I was going to say, Jim, I just went and asked my wife. I guess there is a bowling alley in Kent, so I'm assuming if she bowled in Kent. If she wanted to bowl with some nice ladies, she could always go up to Skyway. I'm sure my wife and those ladies would welcome her in. Their group is getting smaller and smaller. I think there's only 2 or 3 people on each team. I don't know how many teams they have now, but I think there's only probably 12 or 15 of them. And then used to be a bunch of them. So anyway, let's see, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, on cleaning the gutters, Jim, I don't know. I have an attachment I got at Sears a long time ago. I put on my shop vac. So it's the big, it's the big hose, the big black pipe, and you hook it together, and it's like a J. So you can stand on the ground, and then you can, it's like a shepherd's hook or a J. You can just suck your gutters out with it. It works really nice, especially if the stuff in them is a little bit wet. Of course, it'll plug up if the debris is too big and heavy. So then you just have to, shut it off and clean it out and keep going. But most of the time, it'll suck it through. So it's nice. I can just stand on the ground and get out an extension cord and walk around the house with my shop vac and suck out the gutters. And I only need to do about, a third of the house probably, because that's all that the needles from the tree reach. They also get on the roof. I don't like that. I actually was able to get James to come over and help me this fall, kind of clean off the roof before winter came, but now it's all has debris up there again. So anyway, I need to find somebody to go on the roof and help me. But I guess I have to wait now until spring comes. So anyway, all right, I guess that's about it. So let's go over to N7KC and see if he has any more words of wisdom for us.
Okay, N7KC, Lee in Port Angeles, courtesy of Echolink. Let's see, now the last time I was reported to be muffled or some such on Echolink, so, and not loud enough, so it turns out on the phones under the controls, you can bump the microphone gain up in steps of, I think it's 60 feet, so I doubled it, I put it up past 6, and I hope I didn't overdo it. Jim, I was going to email you. I have a note here to email you. I haven't done it yet, but I was going to explain what that check was for. I thought maybe I'd tell you on the air here, but maybe it's not something I should talk about on the air, so I won't. But I will drop you a note to tell you what that's all about. It's to our advantage. I can tell you that much over there. And actually to the advantage of 3 groups. The actual expense was going to be 3 times what our check was written for. So the 3 groups that are using the building there, we're all going to pitch in a third, and then it would be a big advantage there. That's a little bit cryptic, but anyway. Let's see, I was going to say in terms of Gary having nothing but a black and white camera, the beautiful thing here about the USB is it goes straight away as a digital signal into the green and blue. It really goes red, green. Hang on, okay, I just reset it, I think. N7KC in Port Angeles again. Anyway, so you have a group of 4 pixels, and that's, of course, it's hard to have a rectangular array with only 3 colors without duplicating something, but they pick the green because of the sensitivity to the eye. So basically what happens is if you have a megapixel camera, 5 megapixels of that camera is devoted to green. 25% of the pixels, 1/4 of them are devoted to red, and 1/4 of them are devoted to blue. So if you do it all in black and white and use color filters, that means every one of the 10 megapixel pixels, every one of them is responding to the same color of light. So it's really overall a better thing, and what they do is they take the 3 images and basically combine them to get their color image. So I wouldn't feel too bad about having a black and white camera as long as it's got the sensitivity to actually, capture those very faint stars without adding a lot of noise. Anyway, well, I better quit again. Oh, I forgot to push the timer. Anyway, Jim, back to you. This is N7KC Lee in Port Angeles, in by Echolink. Back to you, Jim.
N7QO. Thank you, Lee. Once again, would anyone like to join our conversation? Go ahead now, please.
Kilo India 7, Sierra Delta, Adam in Gig Harbor, listening to you all, having a good time. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Any comments, anything you'd like to say or ask? Go ahead.
I'm a new ham, got my technician a year ago, just got my general, and exploring different things with the hobby, having a lot of fun, meeting a lot of really nice guys. Thank you.
Okay, great. I missed your name, and that was Kilo India 7. Was it Sierra Delta Delta? Go ahead.
Kilo India 7 Sierra Delta. My name is Adam. I'm in downtown Gig Harbor.
Okay, roger that, Adam. Well, what we are is actually a television net, Western Washington Amateur Television Society, and you could, if you have access to a computer, you could Google that, and WW7ATS or WW7ATS, and find a way to click on where it says stream, and you can see pictures that we are sending. Although the streaming doesn't seem to be working all that well, but we are sending pictures to a different repeater, a television repeater, located on Cougar Mountain. So all of us can see each other as well as talk. We're using this 14708 repeater for our audio portion, but that's what's going on with us. Gig Harbor, don't know if you can get a clear shot of the television repeater from there. Maybe when someone else comes on, they might have a better idea than me. But that's what's going on, Adam. Any questions for us?
No. Thank you for tolerating my naivete regarding amateur radio. I have so much fun listening to you all and chiming in whenever I can. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, and you're welcome to join in whenever you can. We officially meet Saturday evenings and Wednesday evenings from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. And once again, thanks for saying something. Let's see, Lee, you were asking about your audio. I think your audio sounds excellent right now. Also, you said something about emailing me some information. Now that you mention that, it seems like Bob was going to send me something. I think Ron said he might, but then Bob said that he would, but I never got that information. I guess Bob got distracted or something. So, Lee, if you have something handy there, I would appreciate an email. Let's see. Nuts. I guess I will hand it over to you, Gary. K7HYB N7QO. N7QO, Kilowatt 7 Hotel Yankee Bravo. Well, Lee, while I'm remembering and feedback for the comments about the camera, I understand what you're saying there, and this is kind of I'm not really a serious person. In fact, I'm so serious, I'm so much, I play around with this so much that I built my own, believe it or not. I salvaged a chip out of a backup camera system that I bought that had broken. The transmitter quit, and still had a camera that worked. So I salvaged the chip out of it, and and I'm still playing around with that. The biggest problem I had was trying to find something that would fit over the eyepiece of the scope, so that I wouldn't have to fuss around with lining it up and stuff like that. And I found what I needed, I just haven't got around to buying it yet. So maybe one of these days I'll get off my stuff and get something doing. So I'm not really all that serious about it. It's a fair weather thing. It would have been nice today. The weather is beautiful, but I don't know what it's like out there. So I haven't checked my weather station to see what condition it's in. And see if I've got it here. Yeah, I do. Okay. So anyhow, and so that's my deal. And yeah, my wife, just for the information of the net, my wife bowls twice a week, most times, sometimes 3 times a week, and occasionally 4 times a week. And she's talking about going to Reno for the Women's National Bowling Tournament here in April or May, something like that. I think I don't remember exactly what day it was, but anyway, so she's pretty well into it, and so that pretty well that keeps her occupied. And I see we're getting close to the top of the hour, so I think I will put my 73s on this one, and I'll talk to you guys later. I'll be listening out here. Ron, go ahead and take it. KD7QKU, K7HYB.
K7ITX.
Go ahead. K7IPX, K7HYB, go ahead.
Yeah, K7HYB, K7ITX. This is Richard, also known as Dick, Eastdale, Kent. And I just wanted you guys to know that I've just been listening on in. Sorry for hearing about some folks being under the weather and shoulder injuries and that sort of thing. And I would like to just mention that we finally received contact from Scott's significant other, Scott being a silent key NB7N. But the contact is very cryptic and limited, and has to do with Scott's equipment, but it's extremely slow communication process, and I haven't been part of it. So anyway, that's about. I can't think. I seemed like I was going to say something else, but it's kind of slipped my mind. Dallas lost. The Rams won, and so we'll see how that marches forward. And of course, and then the YL took a trip to Fremont today and negotiated the I-5 situation with the viaduct being gone, but I think she left early enough to where it wasn't a problem for her. So, all right, I'll say 73. I know you guys are getting close to the top of the hour, and I just wanted you to know I was listening, and it's great to hear Lee and Jim and Ron and Gary. So I think I'll send it over to Ron, and I'll listen on out and clear out of here when you guys are done. So I think I go to KD7QKU, K7ITX.
K7ITX in the group, KD7QKU. Well, gee, Richard, it was nice to hear your voice. It was nice to hear from you this evening. Yeah, Joanne and I have had a cold. We got it about Christmas time. It doesn't want to go away, but other than that, we're fine. I was going to ask Lee. I know Lee has Wi-Fi cameras, and I was just going to ask him how they were powered. If they're battery operated, or if they have wall warts, or however they powered. So I'm going to send it over to him and say 73. It was sure nice to hear from everybody tonight. So let's go over to N7KC, KD7QK. I'm clear. Good night.
Okay, well, I have to wait till the little doodad comes on the phone before I can tap it. Now, well, this is N7KC in Port Angeles. Richard, nice to hear from you. Yeah, you were looking out there this whole time and didn't say anything. Say one here. One thing I did want to say was about the streaming on YouTube. You know, you can find it really easy. You just go to youtube.com, bring YouTube up like you normally would. And then in the search bar, you just put WW7ATS. That's all, just the call of the repeater. And it takes you right to our streaming area, and you pick the live stream. There's 2 or 3 there that are historical streams, but you pick the live stream, and then that's all there is to it. So it's not really necessary to go to the website. To be honest, I don't know if you get a better picture by reducing the number of sites that you go through. So it may be that things actually work a little better if you go direct to YouTube. Anyway, I don't have anything else. We are getting precious close to the end of the hour. So, shoot, I forget if someone asked me a question or not. Well, yes, yes. I've got Belkin internet cameras here, and I've got 7 of them, 8 of them, I don't know, they work really well, and they have a wall wart. So you have to plug them into 110, and that's how they go. There's no batteries in them. We do have friends down on the bluff here that have some security cameras that do in fact have batteries in them. And I can hardly believe it. They claim they last for around a year, but it's hard for me to buy that. I don't know how you would do it. But anyway, and of course that's a darn nuisance if you're always trying to climb up someplace and change batteries. So, of course, if the power goes off, I mean, you'll maybe get something saved if you get the right, storage situation. Okay, that's enough from me. A nice net tonight, guys. I enjoyed it a lot. Always do. Echo Link's working really well, and appreciate that too. So, anyway, Jim, thanks again for being that control guy tonight. Doing a great job. So, from Port Angeles, this is Lee in 7KC, quitting just in time, my timer quit. I'm here courtesy of Echo Link, back to net control. Go, Jim.
Kilo 7, Oscar Romeo Victor, a question?
Oscar Romeo Victor, go ahead.
Yeah, I just discovered this here, and I'm watching the WW7ATS on the YouTube, but all I'm getting is a fuzzy black and white picture. It was my impression that when somebody's transmitting, it will probably send their picture with that. Is that correct, like Skype does?
Well, what we are doing is transmitting a picture on 434 megacycles to a repeater on Cougar Mountain, and that repeater is taking that signal and putting it on the internet. So some of us don't get into the repeater very well. Also, the repeater is not working all that well. The repeater actually outputs video RF at 1.2 gigahertz, and in addition to the streaming. The streaming has not been working all that well. If it were, it would immediately rebroadcast our signals, but there seems to be a large delay. So you may see someone who was transmitting some time ago. Sometimes the delay could be in the order of minutes. Reset.
I'm watching KD7QKU on there right now. I have an answer for you on the cameras too if you want. K7ORV.
Yeah, Ron's been off for quite some time actually. After Ron, Lee and 7KC was on, and then after Lee was on, I'm on now, N7QO. But if you're still seeing Ron, then obviously the stream is not working all that well. I have given up on using the stream myself, but go ahead with whatever information you had for the cameras.
Yeah, I use the Arlo. It's Alpha Romeo Lima Oscar. Arlo Pro. That's Papa Romeo Oscar cameras, and they are a palm-sized camera that is absolutely amazing in daylight or at night. I have put them clear at the back of my parents' property on an apple tree and watch everything that's going on in their backyard from my house 60 miles away. And I have the cameras here also outside. And all you do is you mount this little, like a half eggshell with one screw to something, and the cameras have a little, that's a convex eggshell, and then the camera has a concave matching portion on the back, and so these things are palm-sized, and the magnet in that sticks to that wherever you have that little mount, and you orient the camera however you want it on that little mount. And the video is fantastic, and even with a lot of activity, the batteries last for at least 2 weeks. I've never had to change any camera battery in less than 2 weeks, and usually it's about a month. And they're a little lithium-ion cube that you keep some in the charger on the charger, and the cameras that I have, of course, are just high enough that they can't jump up and grab them, but a short step ladder quickly gets to them. And you just lift it off of there, pop it open, and slip a new battery in, and put it back at the same angle it was before, and you're done. Over.
Oh, that sounds great. That, yeah, maybe some of us can make use of that. Ron has a game camera, which he has by the house. Occasionally it'll catch a coyote or something sneaking in his backyard. Kind of cool, but to be able to see something like that more real time, that's interesting too. Go ahead.
Comment. K7HYB, is that a Wi-Fi?
Affirmative. Comes into a central unit that puts it normally out to the internet, but you can put it wherever you want it. Over.
Okay, so you can address it then.
My understanding, I'm just using it to go to the cloud, but my understanding is you can address it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'd like to see the link on that. Could you send it to me?
Let me jot down your call sign again, and I'll find your email on